Have you ever caught yourself replaying the same conversation in your head again and again? Maybe it was something you should have said, or something you wish you hadn't. Maybe it's an argument that never really happened, or a talk you're preparing for but haven't had yet. You imagine every possible version, every tone, every outcome, until your mind feels like it's having conversations without you. Have you ever known someone like that? Or maybe, deep down, it's you. Let's talk about the psychology behind overthinking imaginary conversations. Not as something to judge or fix, but as something to understand. Because behind that endless replay, there's a mind that simply wants peace. When we imagine conversations that haven't happened, or repeat ones that already have, it can look strange from the outside. But from the inside, it's often an act of survival. Our brains are storytellers. They don't like unfinished stories. And when something feels unresolved, the mind tries to complete it by creating scenarios until it feels safe again. It's not madness, it's protection. For some people, replaying conversations is a form of emotional rehearsal. They're trying to prepare for what might happen next, to make sure they won't be hurt, misunderstood, or embarrassed again. It's a way to feel in control when life feels unpredictable. You might imagine telling your boss what you really think, or explaining to someone why they hurt you, or defending yourself in a situation that never happened. Each version feels like a small attempt to gain closure, to say what you couldn't say before. And that's where the first side of this story begins. For those who overthink conversations, it's rarely about the words themselves. It's about the feelings left behind. Maybe you felt dismissed when someone didn't listen. Maybe you were misunderstood, and that memory keeps echoing inside your chest. Maybe you regret staying quiet when your heart wanted to speak. So the mind steps in and says, let's fix it. And it does what minds do best: imagine, replay, and revise.
It's not weakness. It's actually a sign of emotional intelligence. It means you care about how you communicate. It means you value understanding, even if it comes too late. But the problem begins when that replay never ends, when every quiet moment turns into an inner debate, when peace becomes harder to find because the mind is always rehearsing what if. You start to live inside conversations that never happened, instead of the ones that are happening now. And that's where the exhaustion begins. Now, let's look at the other side. The perspective of those who don't overthink, who simply move on. They might say, why do you keep thinking about it? Just let it go. And from their view, it makes sense. Because to them, what's said is said and what's done is done. They can sleep peacefully without needing to replay every detail. It's not that they don't care. It's that their minds are wired differently. Their brains are more comfortable with ambiguity. They don't need every emotional thread tied neatly in a bow. They trust that life will unfold as it should. But for someone who overthinks, letting go isn't about willpower, it's about safety. Your brain keeps looping the same scene, not to torture you, but to protect you. Because unresolved emotion feels like danger to the subconscious mind. And until that danger feels resolved, the brain keeps pressing play. If you're someone who overthinks conversations, please know you're not broken. Your mind is doing what it thinks is best to keep you safe. It's trying to protect your self-worth, your belonging, your dignity. But here's the truth most people never tell you. You can't think your way out of overthinking. Because what you're trying to resolve isn't in your head, it's in your heart. What your mind really wants isn't a better version of the conversation. It's peace with what already happened. That peace doesn't come from finding the perfect comeback.
It comes from forgiving yourself for being human, for not knowing what to say, for caring too much, for wanting things to be different. Sometimes, imaginary conversations are the mind's way of healing what couldn't be healed in reality. Maybe you never got an apology you deserved. Maybe you never said what you truly felt. And maybe you never will. But by replaying that moment, your brain is trying to write a softer ending, to turn pain into understanding, to make peace with what was left unsaid. That's not weakness. That's your inner self trying to close an open wound. Still, healing doesn't mean revisiting that scene forever. It means learning to gently tell your mind, "Thank you for trying to protect me, but I'm safe now." And then, letting the silence that follows feel like peace, not emptiness. For some, imaginary conversations happen in anticipation, not reflection. You imagine how you'll respond to someone before they even speak. You prepare every possible outcome, every scenario, every reaction. Because unpredictability makes you anxious. You want to be ready to avoid embarrassment, conflict, or pain. But this mental rehearsal often becomes mental exhaustion. You spend so much time preparing for moments that haven't happened that you miss the ones that are unfolding right now. You become so focused on being ready that you forget to be. And that's the quiet tragedy of overthinking. It steals presence in exchange for the illusion of control.
If you've ever felt trapped in that cycle, here's something to remember. You are not the thoughts you think. You are the awareness that notices them. You can observe your mind rehearsing the same conversation and softly say, "I see you. I know you're trying to help." And just that simple awareness creates space between you and your thoughts, space for peace to enter. Over time, you'll notice that the more you let thoughts come and go without grabbing onto them, the quieter your mind becomes. Because what the mind wants most isn't control, it's rest. From another perspective, the habit of having imaginary conversations can also be deeply creative. Writers, artists, and thinkers often live in this world between reality and imagination. They rehearse, reflect, and rewrite, not just to escape reality, but to understand it more deeply. Sometimes, those imaginary dialogues become seeds of art, empathy, or wisdom. So it's not always something to stop. It's something to balance. You can let your imagination be a playground, not a prison. You can use it to express, not suppress. The same mind that worries can also create beauty. It just needs direction, not judgment. If you're listening right now and realizing that you do this, that you overthink conversations in your head, take a deep breath. You don't need to silence that part of you. You just need to soften it. Next time your mind replays a scene, pause and ask yourself, what is my heart trying to say? Because behind every imaginary conversation is a real emotion waiting to be felt. Sadness, fear, guilt, love, hope. Feel it. Let it move through you. And then when you're ready, let it go. The goal isn't to stop thinking. It's to start listening. In relationships, this awareness can change everything. If you're someone who overthinks, explain it to the people you love. Tell them, sometimes my brain replays things because I care. And if you're close to someone who does this, don't tell them to get over it. Just listen. Be patient. Because sometimes the most healing thing isn't fixing the thought, it's feeling seen in it. The truth is, we all have imaginary conversations. We all rehearse our fears, our regrets, our hopes. The difference lies in how we hold them, tightly or gently. The next time you find yourself replaying a scene, imagine holding it like a snow globe. You can shake it, watch the memories swirl, then set it down and let the flakes settle. Because peace isn't found in stopping the storm, it's found in learning how to sit calmly inside it. Thank you for listening till the end. If this episode helped you understand yourself a little bit better, and you want to share it with someone who tends to overthink imaginary conversations and might be struggling with that cycle, don't forget to follow this podcast. We'll keep growing together, learning to think less, feel more, and live a little lighter each day.